Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be an update of the first trimester of my pregnancy. So the first trimester is about week 1 to week 12 or 13. So first off, how I found out that I was pregnant, I was kind of having some pregnancy signs. I thought that maybe we were trying not trying super hard, but I was tracking my cycles and really trying to focus on when was a good time, and I felt as though I was pregnant, so I went out and bought a couple pregnancy tests. First couple that I took ended up being negative, and so I thought, you know, I must not be pregnant. Based off of my calculations of my cycle, the timing just didn't seem right. So a couple weeks went on, and I still had those signs and symptoms of pregnancy in the beginning, and so I went ahead and got another pregnancy test. I was so eager to take it. I was actually at school during my planned period, and I took the test. I waited those dreaded 3 minutes or 2 minutes, however long it is that you wait, and finally got to look at the test, and it was positive. So I was super excited and nervous and not surprised, because I felt like I was pregnant, but you know, there's always that little bit of surprise when you find something out like that. And so after school that day, I went and bought a couple more pregnancy tests, home pregnancy tests that I could take, and brought them home. I took those tests. They were positive, so I knew I must be pregnant. And then, of course, I was so excited that, you know, I wanted to do something cute to show my husband, but I was just too excited to plan anything. And so when he got home that night, we had dinner, and then I ended up giving the pregnancy test to my daughter, and not the ones that just have the lines, but the one that actually says pregnant or not pregnant, because I don't think my husband knows how to read a pregnancy test unless it just spells it out for him. So I gave it to my daughter and said, "Take this to Daddy." So she ran out and gave it to him, and he kind of had a weird reaction at first, because he was very weirded out that I had handed my 2-year-old daughter a stick that I had peed on. But I'll go ahead and just insert that clip here. It's not a super cute video or anything, but I'll show you that here.
Where'd you get this? When did it what? No, what? What?
What is it?
Where's it, Ross? Where did you find this out? What?
What? What is it?
What is it?
So as you can see, my husband kind of had a weird reaction, but he was excited once he kind of figured out, like, wow, you're really pregnant. This is not just a joke. And so that's kind of how I found out I was pregnant and let him know. And so moving on to more details of my first trimester as a whole. My total weight gain for the first trimester was about 10 pounds. And I feel like at that point I was trying to eat pretty healthy, but there were a lot of things that I just felt like I couldn't eat, and I knew I just needed to at least eat something to nourish my body and my baby that was growing. Of course, I was taking prenatal vitamins and all of that stuff, but yeah, 10 pounds was how much I had gained by the end of the first trimester. Okay, so sleep. Sleep was not great. It was very interesting because even though I didn't have a huge baby in my belly, I felt like I had to wake up to pee all the time in the middle of the night. And I didn't feel very comfortable sleeping, which is odd because usually I can pretty much sleep wherever, however. But I felt kind of uncomfortable sleeping, and I had to get up a lot to use the restroom. So the sleep was just not so great. Best moment of our first trimester was definitely finding out the gender of the baby. We ended up doing the blood testing for any genetic abnormalities or chromosomal abnormalities. And that test also tells you, if you want to know, it will also tell you the gender of the baby. So of course we wanted to know with our daughter. We did the same thing. We want to know as fast as we could, just because we're not very patient, I think. So what we did, instead of having like a big gender reveal, we went ahead and bought about 6 cupcakes, and my husband and I, my mom brought them over to us, and my husband and I were the first ones to eat the cupcakes. So we both went ahead and got our cupcakes ready, and I got a pink cupcake and he got a blue one because of course he wanted a boy. I would like to have a boy also, but I just went ahead and grabbed the pink one since he grabbed the blue one, and I thought he was going to eat his, so I went ahead and bit into it and then turned and showed him, and he hadn't even bit into his yet. But it ended up, the frosting on the inside was blue, and so it was a boy, and so he was so excited. I obviously was so excited either way, but we've already got a little girl, and he definitely wants his little boy, and so my husband was very excited about that. And then we had some more cupcakes, so we could go over and see our parents and do the cupcake reveal with them. They found out we told them we were pregnant at Christmas time, so they already knew we were pregnant, but we wanted to have them find out the gender in kind of a special way like we did, in a more intimate way than having a big party. So that was the best moment, I think, of the first trimester, was figuring out that we were having a boy.
Kind of high.
That doesn't mean anything. Really? Really?
I already been into mine.
You're supposed to cheers and then do it. What are you doing? There's more blue
Show
frozen.
the camera.
It's all blue.
Yeah, it's blue. I just had a feeling.
Heck yeah, baby. It's a boy.
Some symptoms during the first trimester, definitely I was very tired and very nauseous. That's one thing about this pregnancy that was a little bit different. I was a lot more nauseous than with my first pregnancy. And it got to the point where I just felt like I needed to just lay down all day long. I would get home from school and just lay down, and like I couldn't even be productive. And I didn't like that. So I don't know, it was towards the end of my first trimester, I had an appointment with my midwife, and I just told her that I felt so sick and very unproductive, I guess, because I was feeling so sick. And so she prescribed me Zofran, so I started taking Zofran, and it helped so much for the next probably 3 to 4 weeks. I took Zofran, and it got me through the end of the first trimester, the beginning of the second trimester, without feeling so sick, so that I could be a little bit more productive. And that was really nice. But other than those symptoms, normal pregnancy symptoms that you have in the beginning, that's all I had, besides well, I mean, most people are nauseous in their first trimester, so I guess that was normal too. But yeah, so moving on now to cravings. So my cravings were a lot of fried food, which was terrible. French fries especially. We would go to Red Robin, McDonald's French fries, any French fries with ranch or barbecue or ketchup, I was all about it. And then frozen yogurt. We have an orange leaf here where I live, and I was just obsessed with orange leaf. I wanted it all the time. And so those were the main two cravings that I had: fried food, mainly French fries, and the frozen yogurt. Things that I couldn't stand smelling or eating was cooked meat. So grilled chicken, or besides, okay, if it was fried chicken, I could eat it, or like boneless wings or something like that, I could eat that. But if it was like something we were cooking at home, like hamburger meat or grilled chicken or grilled tilapia or any baked anything, baked was a little better than anything on the stovetop or anything on the grill or the George Foreman grill. I could not stand the smell. It made me so sick. And so those were kind of things that we just like avoided. We went out to eat a lot so that I didn't have to smell the meat being cooked if I was gonna have meat, but I kind of stayed away from it a lot in those first few weeks. Things that I missed during the first trimester was just feeling normal. I think your body's going through so many changes during those beginning weeks, and it's, you know, trying to build a baby basically. You know, you're building a baby inside of your body, and I just did not feel normal, and I missed that feeling of, you know, I can eat what I want when I want to, I can do what I want when I want to, and not having to think about, oh, that's gonna make me sick, or whoa, I get really tired really easily, or oh, I can't eat that or else I'm gonna have heartburn. That kind of thing. That's just what I missed during the first trimester, but that's okay. Some other things about the first trimester: lifting and exercise and fitness are a big part of my life, and so I continued with CrossFit training and not so much running. Once I found out I was pregnant, I stopped running. At CrossFit workouts, I would do the WOD and run in the WOD if I needed to, but I wouldn't just go out on a run. I just didn't feel comfortable doing that, and I'm not a super avid runner anyway. So that's just kind of what I continued to do to stay healthy and to stay fit. Again, I wasn't eating the greatest. I was trying to, but you know, I just ate what I could at the time. I continued drinking a lot of water. I drink a lot of water anyway. I don't know if you can see, this is a pretty big water bottle. I drink a lot of water anyway, and so that's like always a strength of mine, is staying hydrated. I know a lot of women have trouble getting dehydrated during pregnancy, especially when you have to start going to the restroom more often and more often as your baby gets bigger, but I don't really have that problem. So and then that's about it for the first trimester. I was very excited to find out that we were going to add another baby to our family. It was a little later than we had planned. We were trying a few months before, like really trying to get pregnant, and it just wasn't working out. And then we stopped trying so diligently, and I think it made us less stressed about it, or at least it made me less stressed about trying to get pregnant. And I honestly think that is how being less stressed, that is actually how I ended up getting pregnant, is that I wasn't so worried about it, and I stopped focusing on, well, this is the prime time to try to get pregnant, and I think that once I stopped worrying so much about it, you know, things just happened the way they were supposed to happen, and we're so excited about it. So stay tuned. I will have a second trimester update coming soon. Please like this video if you want to continue seeing pregnancy updates, and subscribe to my channel if this is something that interests you. And then stay tuned for the next video. Thanks. Bye, guys.